yesterday with me, Drew Humboldt. Thanks for joining me today as we go and visit ways to be better than yesterday. I am an army of one here, so you'll forgive me, please, if occasionally the slideshow is second off or the music fades in or fades out. It's all me doing it live as I'm talking to you today. Every day? I don't know. Let's have some fun with this, shall we? So this episode one, I want to talk to you about one of the things I've created, my Better Teams Today system. Most of the time when you and I get together, it's going to be a little bit of story time from Drew. And that's just the way this works because I can't hear you, I can't see you. So I'm just going to tell a story and we'll see how this goes. I've been running Better Than Yesterday Consulting for 3 years now. And in that 3 years, I've had clients ask me for what I think is my strength, my multi-unit manager training, better visits today. But I've had them ask for a lot of other one-offs as well. Some of it around recruiting and selection and hiring during the Great Quit. Some of it around building e-learning systems or rebuilding an e-learning system for them, restructuring onboarding and orientation, training their own trainers, onboarding directors. And it's kind of funny because as I go through all these requests from clients, I start to find the commonalities. So let's start with the first one and this Better Teams Today system. I like to work in threes. So in Better Teams Today, it's got three sections basically, and I'm going to start with the first one today, and that's a desire to belong. Here's what I want you to do real quick. I want you to think about a time where when you were new to a team, new to a job, new to a neighborhood, you didn't know anybody, didn't know really what your first thing was, your first step, your first task, what was expected of you. How'd you overcome that? Well, if you think about it, for most of us, it's one of two ways, right? I'm either going to just jump in with 2 feet, and if it's a new job or a new neighborhood, I'm going to just find the people who I think will help me the most, whether it's the hiring manager or the neighbor that answers the door when I'm pounding on it vigorously. Okay, maybe not that vigorously. I'm going to find a way to jump in and create motion because that's who I am. Maybe that's who you are. The other way is to wait. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know who to see. I don't know what door to knock on. I don't want to be a burden. Believe it or not, that's usually me. I'm the one texting asking, you got a minute to talk. I don't just call and go, hey, let's talk. So if you think about your first day on the job, you basically know when to start. Someone told you where to go and when to start. Hopefully, they meet you. But think about all of the things going through your head, right? It's all of this desire to belong. And the interesting thing is it's a two-way street, right? As the new team member, I have a strong desire to belong. I want to fit in, and I don't know where I fit in yet. And as a peer or a manager of this new team member, I want you to fit in and I want to fit in with you. We're going to find some way to connect. If it's me, I probably go for some silly bit of humor, a dad joke probably. There's a little sidebar here. That whole Steve Carell in The Office, occasionally hurt me because there were times where I'm like, I might actually do something like that. There were cringe times where I'm like, okay, I would never do that. But there's the occasional dad joke in there where I'm like, okay, no, that's totally me. Oh my gosh, what's wrong? Because that's the way I found to connect. So think of that last time where you started a new role. What did you do to connect? How strong was your desire to belong? Did you just want to find your cubicle, your desk, your office and be left alone? Or did you want to be surrounded by this new team to see what they were all about? How we bring team members in, how we bring team members on, how we orientate them to the business, how we onboard them to their role, how we introduce them to peers. All of this matters. All of this drives that desire to belong. And it's amazing what happens when it works. In my last corporate job, I had a distinction, pleasure of having a nearly remote team. And this is pre-pandemic. I had 11 people that reported up through me, and I had one person who I could see on a day-to-day basis. Everybody else was remote. So for my managers that were remote, we started to do a daily, I don't want to call it a water cooler because we don't have a water cooler. We're remote, but it was a daily quick text, right? We're in the group chat, and it's just a, what are you doing today? What's your goal today? Just a quick update. For me, that quick update was usually I'm open for phone calls between this window if you want to talk. Here's the time frame. Or hey, call me anytime today if you need me, except here, I'll be in a meeting. So we had that to try and do it. But each of those managers had a remote team as well, no one that they could see. So we started to implement things, weekly video calls with the entire team. My managers had to go see each of their team members at least once a month and be physically there with them. And it's amazing what you do when you start to put in procedures and tasks to force interaction with a remote team. Everyone wants to belong. So that's my first question for you at the end of this episode. How do you help your team belong? How do you meet that desire that they have to get to know their peers, to get to know their team, to get to know you if you're the boss, or if you're the team member, how do you get to know your boss? How do you fulfill your desire to belong? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for listening to the fabulousness that is the first episode of Be Better Than Yesterday. I am Drew Helmholtz with Better Than Yesterday Consulting. And with that, I will let you get on with your day. Thanks so much for joining me. This has been a Better Than Yesterday Consulting production, and you can visit me at trainwithbty.com, see what I'm all about, check out my services, and see how maybe I can help you. Thanks again. See you next time.